Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Monday, June 27th, 2022. Just 3 days left of June. Three, four. July knocking on the door. Hope everyone survived the weekend. Kind of a crazy weekend in sports. AVES Stanley Cup champs. Hats off to the ECSI VIPs. Plus 330. We had them before the Stanley Cup started. Excuse me. Look for the plus 375 Avs and 5 and came up a game short. You know what? Hats off to the Lightning, two-time defending champs, Stanley Cup champs. And then you look at their three losses, two of them in overtime and one last night, 2-1. True champions. And I didn't have them getting out of the first round in the East. And yet there they are, basically neck and neck with the Avs. And the Avs pulled through, and congrats there. In the College World Series, Ole Miss was the last team selected. And our producer, Kiefer Bagwell, a big Ole Miss Rebel fan, was talking about them. We did a couple shows as the tournament progressed. Get to the World Series and win the World Series. Think about that. Last team selected, last man standing. And I know Kiefer, before the season started, has him like plus 6,000. He had him plus 950. He had him a bunch of times. So congrats to Kiefer and any of the Ole Miss Rebel fans there. What a story. Hell of a job there. Golf. You know, as much as everyone's going to say Xander was handed the tournament, kind of reminded me of a few weeks back when Mito on 18 duffed the drive and JT wins. Here, basically, Thiegler had the tournament and he duffs it where he pulled the John Rahm of a week ago in the bunker. I don't see anyone on social media talking about Cantlay. And I took a snapshot and I sent it to our co-host here, Riley. Cantlay at one point was one of the best golfers in the world. He was one shot back. I think it was plus 140 going into Sunday. And he absolutely blew up like a wood tick. And that's all that anyone's talking about now is who's playing at the LIV tournament this weekend and who withdrew from John Deere. I mean, it's like the LIV tournament this week is bigger than the John Deere. Short MLB slate, but let's bring in our co-host from the Windy City this week. Riley will be blessing us tonight, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. And dogs are barking. We got a big thunderstorm coming here. So I hope the internet holds up. So for anyone watching and listening, please bear with us because we got a doozy coming. So let's bring him on, our co-host, Mr. Riley Magnuson. What's up, Riley?
My friend Jeff, how are you, my friend? I think this is my inaugural appearance on the closing bell, so I'm happy I could be flexible for you. I'm happy to be here as always. Happy to get the week started here Monday after what you just broke it down. The nice weekend, especially the last couple of days of action that we had. Cantlay absolutely. I don't know. That's one of the bigger meltdowns of the entire season, considering how. And I guess obviously he wasn't leading, but considering how strongly the rest of the field was going, it was shocking to see anyone going over par, in any single round for the most part at all. And to see him do that on the last round was pretty shocking to me because, like you said, at one point, still one of the best golfers in the world, but obviously that stock's been in 2022 is kind of plummeting. So, I don't think he's in this weekend's field at the John Deere, which. Not a Chicago tournament, but, kind of my neck of the woods as far as Western Illinois. So always love to see that event. And they moved it around a little bit this year, so I think there's 2 weeks in between this and the British. So was hoping there'd be a few bigger names. Obviously, like you were talking about, there's still a couple nice names in there. But, we should have another good one this weekend. And, get ready. Like I said, I think it's 2 weeks away from the Open Championship. So, as we've been talking, golf is heating up. So hopefully we can focus a little more on these actual individual events that are coming through that have actually been pretty damn entertaining. So, a final thing, and then I'll kick it back to you as far as, Schauffele being handed the tournament. He birdied 18. People it's not like he parred or bogeyed 18 to win. He still birdied the final hole, and even if Tagala holes that bogey putt, Schauffele still wins the damn tournament. So, and obviously, with the bunker thing, take away that, and maybe it's a different story. But nonetheless, I'm a big Schauffele fan, so I'm happy he got the win there. And I'm excited for the next few weeks of golf. We've got a lot of baseball ahead of us for the next couple of months here. The dog days coming up, so I'm excited as always, my friend. Take us wherever you want to.
Well, you kind of led into it. Now you have hosted the Breakfast Bankroll, the Midday Market Report, and now the Closing Bell. So you have hit the trifecta, my friend. So you are more than co-host status. So hey, listen, I was almost down and out for the count over the weekend. I muscled through Sunday. I'm muscling through today. I think I sweated out the last of it. Haven't verbalized this out loud. There's like two people that know. I'll make it a little public. There is a potential. Now, it is confirmed. Flight and reservations have been confirmed for the 9th through the 16th in Vegas for the World Series of Poker.
Okay.
This
July?
Yes, in July. 2 weeks. So there used to be yearly trips. I'd go out there. We have some ECSI family members that play. I get some great marketing, some great pictures.
Awesome.
I got pictures with Scotty Wynn, Chance, Phil Hellmuth, Dean Eggs. And because of COVID, haven't been out there since. Now, last year they did it in November, and it's a tough time for me to get out there with 5 birthdays and an anniversary, so I can't get there.
Right.
So here's the funny story. I booked it Thursday night at 10 o'clock. And at Thursday at midnight, the shitstorm hit with me getting sick. So I don't know if that was the man upstairs saying, wrong move. So the flight, the reservation, everything's all set. Tentatively we'll be there, but I'm just saying it out loud. So if I do pull it back and say, you know what, I ain't gonna do it. At least I everyone knows I tried.
Yeah, at least he tried for sure. And getting back out there after a couple of years, I'm sure you're itching to get out there. So I've always obviously I didn't even know I didn't realize that was coming up. I've always been, slightly interested in that, but I'm definitely. It used to be on, you got your ESPN in the middle of June on a random day, and you pop it open. And, hey, there's the World Series of Poker, and you just sit down and take a nap while the World Series of Poker's on. So I'm excited. We'll see if we'll see what action you got coming out of there. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I go. I'll go in there and I'll just follow some guys, talk to them in between breaks and stuff. And listen, if you don't enjoy poker or you don't enjoy the atmosphere, then it's just a boring thing because you can't see anything. But to walk into, it used to be at the Rio. Now it's at Bally's and it's at the Paris. So to walk in and just hearing the chips and then just turning around. There's Scotty Wynn. There's Hellmuth. It's just amazing because as a poker fan, and just to all of a sudden say, holy shit. And to me, I went once and then I'm hooked, line, and sinker ever since, And I got to meet Chance, who had just gotten his second bracelet, and he had a picture with me holding up the bracelet right there. And I was there live for 5 hours when BRB won his first bracelet. And the funny story was I was on the rail, and he doesn't know me from Adam, and he's got his whole entourage there. And for 5 hours we're cheering him on. He finally wins it. And then he invites everyone on stage for the picture. And then he looks at me and he goes, I don't know you, so no, you can't come into the picture.
Hey, you got to try. You got to try in those moments. Who cares if they tell you no, right? I love it.
It's a short slate of baseball. It really is. Good afternoon to Billy Hewlin. What's up, guys? Let's cash some tickets. Billy, yes, that is what we're here for. Shout out to Kiefer as well, as we talked about him and his Ole Miss Rebels. Tough board, I think, today. Not a lot to chew on, but I'd be really psyched and excited to hear where your eyes are right now.
Yeah, I've got some notes written down here. So yeah, let's just get right on into it because you're right, absolutely right. There is some tough spots. I know one game when I was checking earlier didn't have a starter listed. Now they do, but I guess yeah, we can dive in just about anywhere. I guess we can start as I usually do with the White Sox. Finally getting the win yesterday. You talked me off the ledge a little bit yesterday, but they tried to blow it on us. I tweeted out if anyone had the run line, that's just a miserable bad beat. Jose Abreu, 2 unforced errors from a pretty solid fielder in the ninth inning with no outs. But kicking it off, it's not kicking off the slate by any means, but they're a little bit later. They're in Anaheim. But Lucas Giolito, Syndergaard. I don't know if anyone's as desperate in the entire MLB for a bounce back as Lucas Giolito. Whether or not it's coming, I don't know. But the guy has been really bad for the last month or so. 4 or 5 starts in a row now where he's getting lit up to some degree. So personally, I'm not saying to back the White Sox, if I'm looking at Giolito, I want to see him prove and have that bounce back first because it's not going to be one bounce back and then back to to terrible performance. He's probably going to put together 2 or 3 really nice performances once he does finally bounce back. So I kind of want to see him do that. And on the flip side, Syndergaard wasn't very good his last time out either, so he might be due for a bounce back. Gun to my head, I'm not playing anything out of this one, but gun to my head, I might be interested in a little first 5 under, if anything. And that's not it's not anything that I love. White Sox back end still banged up. Joe Kelly and Graven, really the only guys out there. They pitched yesterday, had about 5 days off before yesterday, so I'm not really sure how if they'll be available today or not. Their usage has been pretty bizarre. But my point is, I'm not touching the full game out of that one. But if anything, if I'm doing anything, I'm probably going first 5 under, 4.5 in this one.
I was just looking at the first 5 splits. Syndergaard open -135, Giolito +115, now a 130, 112. I think you kind of nailed it. Syndergaard's been every other. He should have a good start there. Let me see what the run line is. This kind of tells me something right here. You can grab Syndergaard minus a hook at even money.
Yeah.
And you can get Giolito plus a hook -120. I was going to say grab the dog there, but I think Vegas is kind of telling me right now, maybe you said it was a 4.5?
For the first 5, yep, 4.5.
I think they're giving you how about 2-1 Angels after 5?
Yeah, I'm with it. I mean, any of the times where even when the Sox have had good pitching performances for the first 5, their offense really hasn't shown up. They almost they gave Cease a few yesterday, but it wasn't. I think it was a Gavin Sheets home run, and if it wasn't for that, which I don't know if he's in the lineup today or not, he's not very good overall. But their offense just isn't hitting very well. So I think it's going to be under in that one, unless I think the way it doesn't get to the window at under 4.5 as if Giolito is still for another outing not very good, which I do expect to bounce back here today. And so I think the first one that is actually on the slate, or maybe there's a couple at 6:05 my time, 7:05 your time, Oakland and the Yankees. Yankees, obviously laying a big number in this one. Blackburn, Montgomery. Blackburn got beat up real bad last time out. So I don't know if you think we see a second kind of beat up on Blackburn's part. Maybe you see some positive regression or, a bounce back start from him. I'm not touching anything. The only thing that if you were dying to back the Yankees, I think the only way you can get into this game over 5 runs, last I checked, this was a couple hours ago, was at around -110, 112. I'm not doing that. But are you with me? Is that the only way if you're dying to play the Yankees that you can get into this game, really?
Let me see team totals here.
Because the run line is, they're making you pay a tax on the run line. -1.5 is at least -130, I think.
You can get plus money, plus 125 if you go over 5.5.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not. Any thoughts from you on this one? I'm not touching this game.
Now, Blackburn had shown a couple flashes where he would keep the team in. Oakland just can't score.
No.
And I think, though, an emotional letdown from the Yanks. The Astros were just in for the weekend. That was a battle royal.
Yeah.
And something? I'm going to vent for a second because I talk about home teams and run lines. And if you had the Yankees run line yesterday, man, donate that money to charity or something, will you? I mean, Jesus, a ground rule double, a C&I base, anything. No, 3-run homer, and you look like a hero. And if you had the over, send it to charity again. I mean, one swing gets the Yankee run line and over it.
Right. And I don't know what else to add to it. It's insane. And then I mean, what they've done throughout the entire season to be if you're that aggressive on a Sunday, like you said, I think you gotta donate that one to charity, or just I don't know, put it all on the Yankees to win the World Series or something. I don't know. You got some deal with the Yankees that's working out for you. So next one, when I checked earlier, they didn't have a starter listed. Looks like they do now. Pittsburgh and Washington. Fedde on the mound for the Nats. Miguel Yajur, only a handful of appearances so far. Hasn't gone past 3 innings. I don't know. I don't have much of a read on this one. Any thoughts out of you on this one? I'm not a fan of Fedde either. He's pretty hit or miss. I've got nothing on this one. What about you?
We tried to fade Fetty last time and we got beat.
Yeah.
And so I'm expecting regression. He opened up at 145, now 140. Listen, we haven't caught any breaks in baseball, and Billy will attest to that. Kiefer will attest to that. Put it this way: we bet on the Orioles on Tuesday. They haven't lost since then, and we don't have them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So I would be taking the dog here with Pittsburgh. I do not trust Fetty as far as I can throw him, but as you said, yours. Is it soup yours today or whatever it is? I have no feel on it.
Right.
I'm seeing 62% of the bets are coming in on Washington. Home team opened at 151. I would lean dog, but it nothing from me.
No. I think the perception would be that the Nationals, or maybe the Pirates, might be the worst team from the general population, but that's obviously not. I mean, the Pirates have more wins than the Nationals as well, and we kind of talked about it, I think, before yesterday's show. The first two, they got swept by the Rays, but the first two games, they put up a nice fight. The Rays kind of stole those games, and now with O'Neal Cruz up, you kind of have a little bit more energy out of this team. So I might be with you. Not touching it, but I think the Pirates are at least worth keeping your eyes on at least this week and see how they play out. That's what I think.
And the funny thing again is, I'm not a total guy, but they're throwing a 9.5 up there, which to my eyes, and it is juiced under. I think the game does get to double digits.
Okay. Yeah, I like that one. Not whatever we talked about on Friday as far as not in my Friday plans. This one's not in my Monday plans, but I think if it were, I'd be with you on that one. But I'll pass this one off to you. Boston and Toronto. Looks like Seabold for the Red Sox making his debut on the season. It looked like only his second appearance overall, and then Gozman on the mound for Toronto. Gozman not very good here in June. 5.5 ERA in June. Another one over under right at 9.5. What are you thinking on this one? Is this one in Toronto here tonight?
Yeah, no Hauku is 6 for 6 in closing, and no Duran because neither one of them are vaccinated. The Red Sox have won 7 in a row. They are now 42-31. They have a 2-game lead over Toronto right now. Just playing phenomenal ball right now. The price is telling me Vegas is making a stance here. They're telling you that, Seabold's making his debut. He's done okay, just over a 2 in Worcester in the AAA. I don't know if they're going to get 3, 4, 5 out of him. I guess if you were interested, let me move on over to here. First half. Let's see here. First half. Go spread. Come on. And now she doesn't want to work.
For the first 5, I've got a consensus for the first 5, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Minus the half for Toronto is about minus 145. Plus a half is plus money for the Red Sox, plus 120. That's consensus. I don't know how exact that is on any book, though.
Okay, so if you wanted to take Gosman, he opened at minus 130. He's at minus 142 now. A little too steep for my blood there. I guess if you wanted to get into it, again, I don't want to go against the train right now, which is the Red Sox. But I would look full game run line. What do you have for a full game run line right now?
For the Red Sox, plus 1.5 is about minus 130. For the Jays, it's about plus 110.
You get plus money on the Jays on the run line. The Sox back end could be questionable today again without Houck. I don't know what they'll have back there. I would lean Toronto run line. But again, I would say buyer beware. The Sox have won 7 in a row. They're just finding ways to win.
Yeah, they've had a few spots where the kind of indication looks like it might stop, and then they kind of plow right through that indication. So I'm staying away from that one as well. Minnesota, Cleveland, Red Sox just got through Cleveland. Cleveland I think they were already home, but anyways, they're hosting Minnesota tonight. Sonny Gray and Tristan McKenzie. Another situation. Both these guys just faced the opposing lineup their last start out. McKenzie, I don't believe, was very good at all. This one, it looks like the total has gone from 8.5 down to 8, if I'm not mistaken. Open 8.5, I do believe. So down to 8 here in this one. Not super strong thoughts. I would kind of like to expect a Tristan McKenzie bounce back in this one, but I typically am not a fan of backing pitchers when they are facing a lineup for the second straight time. So 8.5 down to 8 makes me think at least one of these guys is going to be really nice today. What about you?
I thought the Guardians were in a great spot yesterday, and they failed against the Red Sox. I expect them to bounce back here today. I like McKenzie in the spot and get them at around plus 110, 115. If you wanted to get cute and go first 5, I understand that, but you kind of Gray versus McKenzie. Gray's been pretty good of late, so I like the dog in this game.
Yeah, and Cleveland's offense through the first 5 innings, I mean, they're not, putting up runs this last weekend by any means. I don't think they scored more than 3 over the last 4 or 5 games or so. So I would be with you on the full game as opposed to the first 5 in this one. So only 3 more left, I think. Miami, St. Louis, let's see in this one. Should be a good pitching matchup. Pablo Lopez and Wainwright. Wainwright's seen some regression this month for sure, but the Cardinals just lost series this past weekend at home to the Cubs, who had been free-falling. So I kind of lean Miami first 5 in this one, but it wouldn't shock me if St. Louis found something out in the late games of this one. I'm probably going to stay away from this one for now. The first 5 lines, so Miami's about plus 110 on the full game, closer to even plus 100 on the first 5. Anything you like out of this one?
I mean, I give advantage Miami first 5. The problem is they can't score. They just cannot score. The only way I could back the Marlins would be first 5. But as you just said, now you're expecting St. Louis to bounce back. Their offense has been a little anemic of late, especially the Cubs. Listen, the Cubs are another Jekyll and Hyde team. When I take them, I talked about it on Friday, and we haven't. And which Hendricks are you going to see? And then, of course, you see the Hendricks. That's he through the first 6 innings, I think he averaged like 8 pitches an inning or something stupid like that. So, I think St. Louis full game, but if anyone wanted to jump in Miami first 5, you just got to grin and bear it and hope you can get a crooked number and hold on.
Right. And it's happened too many times for me to where I don't trust this offense enough because I love so many of their pitchers and their offense just drives you damn nuts. Interesting one in this one. Let's see. I've got 2 or 3 left. Maybe I left one off. Anyways, Texas and Kansas City, Martin Perez and Bubic. Bubic for the Royals. Bubic has not been good this season. He's at least improving to some degree this month. I think he's got a sub-4 ERA in June at the very least. He's been really bad, obviously. ERA up over 7 on the season. But Perez is not invincible. Is what I think people need to see in this one. His ERA is under 2. He's been fantastic on the season. I kind of see him as a pitcher who, he's been pitching well above his, what is expected of him. So I personally expect some massive regression on the season here at some point. Whether or not it's to this Royals team, I don't know. There is some, from what I saw, there's some absurd money on the Rangers today, Jeff, as far as a lot of people back in the Texas Rangers on the road here. Line is moving a little bit in their favor, but given the amount of money, I'm not buying it personally. I never liked backing this Royals team or a guy that's got an ERA on the season north of 7, but call me crazy. Am I crazy to think the Royals might be a live dog in this one today?
No, because you're spot on. I mean, 69% of the bets, 72% of the money, and yet, in one spot here, the line opened at 130, and now it's 146. But when I go over to Don Best, which is the Bible, the actual overnight number was 142, okay? And it's now 135. So in my eyes, it's basically some reverse line movement coming on in Kansas City. If you're just looking strictly numbers, I mean, this is a blowout city. Perez has been lights out, and we talk about regression. We haven't seen regression. And this Kansas City team is, they over the weekend they're shopping Benintendi. They're looking to start moving some parts here
Yeah.
before the break. Would not be shocked. I like where your eyes are here. So if you put a gun to my head, this is probably your dog of the day right now. I
Okay.
I would say that.
I like it a little bit here. On if we're looking just specifically at DraftKings tracker, they got 92% of or 80% of bets, 92% of money. So they're making a little bit of a side on this one, a little heavier than I think the consensus is. So I'm definitely interested in there. LA and Colorado, Anderson and Chad Kuhl in this one. Don't have strong thoughts. I think the Rockies are back to 500 at home in this one, and so including myself, a lot of people enticed when they're at home. This Dodgers team, however, has not been a victim to the home cooking of the Colorado Rockies. 13-6 last 19 in Colorado between these two. Not saying I'm taking the Dodgers, but that's at least kind of keeps me away from my interest in the home Rockies to some degree here. Anything other than that to make note of? You liking the Rockies, liking the Dodgers in this one?
I don't like backing a team that played on Sunday night and travels back on the road. Yeah. They lay, what was it, 2-0 last night? They get shut out. So everyone's like, oh, here we go. We get to go to, Coors Field. And now the bats are all of a sudden, going to wake up. They're going to score double digits. Yeah. Haven't been a big Anderson backer. Kuhl has been serviceable. An under over that opened at 11.5, juiced over minus 115. I can see the public all in on Dodgers minus a half first 5. I can see them all in on the Dodgers full game minus a 1.5. I just don't like backing the teams traveling on the Sunday night game. So I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. Rockies at home versus lefties as well have been really. I guess I haven't tracked the last couple of weeks super closely, but I know, a very good left-handed team at home. So I'm kind of with you on that one. I'll stay away. Let's see. Is there one more or two more? I think one more here. Baltimore and Seattle. Wells and Kirby, both these guys actually, a couple of the under the radar pitchers this year have been pretty damn solid both ways. Not definitely not household names. Tyler Wells, George Kirby, 3.34 ERA, 3.12 ERA. Over under at 7.5. Seattle, last I checked, they're around minus 155. I was looking back. Not very often is this team favored to that degree, even at home here. So is that something you're buying, respecting that line, or do you think that's a mistake and this pesky Orioles team is going to bite some people in the ass here tonight?
I think memory serves me correct. Kirby coming off a great start. Again, we backed Baltimore on Tuesday and haven't backed them since. And if my memory's correct, they haven't lost since.
My White Sox got them yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So it was like 4 or 5 in a row, though. Other than that, yeah.
All right. So, that's a tough number. I mean, they're both 34 and 40. I give the edge to Kirby. If you wanted to get in first 5 minus the hook on Seattle, I don't have a problem there. But you use the word pesky. This Baltimore team is a pain in the ass.
They are.
They don't quit. Some of these teams have already waved the white flag. Yeah. This Baltimore team hasn't, and I take my hat off to them. I'm looking at the teams playing today, okay? Pittsburgh, 29 wins. Washington, 27 wins. Miami, 33 wins. Oakland, 25 wins. Cleveland, 36. Texas, 34. White Sox, 34. Angels, 35. And Baltimore, Seattle, 34. So they're not as bad as everyone thinks they are.
Right. And I got a closer look at them. They play really solid defense. They'll beat a better and more talented team that doesn't play fundamental baseball like the team that I call my favorite team. They embarrassed us for 3 out of 4 days and almost came back and beat us yesterday. So, I am not getting in front of them unless I'm absolutely in love. And it's certainly not at this price. Like you said, I kind of respect that number, but it's not enough with, this Seattle team. Like I said, I was looking back. I think it's been at home. I think it's been about a month, and it was Oakland where they were favored over minus 150. I don't think the last month they've been favored this highly. So that was at least one surprise to me. But I think we touched everything at least to some degree here. So that's 9 games here on tonight's slate that we touched, starting in a couple of hours. So I think that's all I've got here.
To close out, is there or can you pull up a prop for tonight?
Let's see. That's a good question. I know. I'll actually say, as far as what I talked about Lucas Giolito and his bounce back, I'll say a Lucas Giolito strikeout prop would be, if you're buying a Lucas Giolito bounce back, he's probably going to be in the game for at least 6 innings. I'm going to try and double check his number. I was looking at it earlier. Let's see. He is at 6.5. Over 6.5 is -128. So that's obviously a tough number, but that's something that I'm at least taking a look at. You gotta, if you're going real aggressive, over 7.5 is like +158. So I think he gets to at least 7 strikeouts, though. If you're willing to pay a little tax, maybe you do a little price shopping. But obviously, that was a quick one off the cuff that you put me under the gun on that one. I wasn't 100% prepared, but that's at least knee jerk. I'll say Lucas Giolito has at least 7 Ks tonight.
I don't have the lineups in front of me. Give me a lefty on Toronto.
A lefty on Toronto. Let's see. Goodness gracious. Their top 4 are all right-handers tonight. Top 5 are all right-handers tonight. Top 6.
Are they that
7,
righty heavy?
8. I think they got, unless they are Biggio. Kevin Biggio is batting left-handed in the 9-hole tonight.
No, I'm not going to be that hero of a play there. I was trying to pick a lefty for a homer over there. Righty.
Biggio's not doing it.
Hell no.
No.
All right, I'm going to go Jose Ramirez with a homer today for the Guardians.
I was trying to take a bite out of him yesterday. He actually had a really nice day yesterday, but I tried to pair him with Tommy Edman I had yesterday, and he went, I think, 0 for 4, 0 for 5 after 7 for 9 career lifetime against Alec Mills, and that was my little Sunday entertainment, little Jose Ramirez and Tommy Edman, and Ramirez was, I think, at least 3 hits yesterday, I know. So, that man, as far as anyone that keeps me up at night in the AL Central, that is the leading candidate these days as far as guys that keep me up at night whenever he's on fire. So, I don't know. That's obviously a pretty big series there, AL Central, or at least at this stage of the season, Twins and Guardians. So, I'll be watching that one closely for sure.
Tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, Ron from Ace Sports, a good friend of Lucky, follow Mr. Fade, has introduced us both. We're going to talk some NFL and NCAF previews. If my memory serves me correct, Scotty will be back tomorrow night at 6:00 for the closing bell. On Wednesday, we will have Andrew McGinnis on at 1:00, and then Riley will be back at 4:30 for the closing bell. On Thursday at 10 a.m., Brady Tinker will be on for talking Dallas sports, and we'll go over the Cowboys, what the hell's going on. Maybe he'll give us some exciting news about Archie Manning going to Texas. That I said 10. I thought I was crazy. I'm hearing $8 million, by the way.
Oh, goodness.
That's all in the genes, baby. And the funny thing, when I said to all the SEC guys, I was like, listen, you guys may reign supreme when it comes to national championships in football, but no one's got deeper pocketbooks or bigger bags than the University of Texas.
Well, especially not when they're trying to get back to that status either. I mean, they've got some blank checkbooks these days that can move some mountains. So that aspect doesn't surprise me. And I mean, when it's all said and done in 20 years, Texas is going to be, in a few years, they're going to be an SEC school. But at the end of the day, when Archie's in the league, or cross your fingers, hopefully he's in the league. He's going to be, the SEC alum to some degree, as far as when he's in the NFL. Texas is also going to be in the SEC. But kudos to him for getting his money. And I'm not a Texas fan. I'm not much of a Texas hater, but it is kind of fun to see them kind of squirm and trying to get back to the top. Nonetheless, anyways, I don't know.
I should have known, because back in my degenerate days, I've always, I don't know if it was the uniforms or what, but the Vols always got me. And I was 0-4 with Peyton Manning versus Florida. And it was always on that Saturday. And I was already losing all week. And this was the game I'm pushing all. And he's finally going to beat Florida. Damn bastard.
No.
Couldn't do it.
I can't wait, man. Football is my. If I had to pick one to live off of, it would be football. So you're getting me excited. These next couple of months, as much as I love baseball, this is when I start to do my random. I'm not doing anything in this afternoon. Let me look up, 10 random stats on the NFL, and then that's my rabbit holes that I go into these days.
Friday. Okay, so we're down through Thursday. Friday, 2:30 will be Dan Alexander in the Premier Lacrosse Show, and then Scotty will be wrapping us up for the closing bell. We'll give our co-host here, Riley, a couple days off, filling in on the nightcast. But kudos, can't thank you enough.
Of course.
No one in the game more flexible than this guy.
Hey.
I mean, we're adding a little spice here, some Boston and Windy City. What we want to do is we're getting closer, to, as you said, the dog days of summer. What we'll try to do in the middle of July and August on some of these shows is we'll just grab a conference and we'll close with a conference with a few nuggets, some under-overs, or, some early lines. I mean, you can go to Superbook right now and bet almost anything right now as it speaks.
Yeah, I typically don't place any wagers at this point yet, as far as week one lines or anything like that. But into another month or two, and I'll certainly be looking at a lot harder at a lot of futures over. Not to toot my own horn, but I love over unders for the NFL. I have at least 3 years in a row positive record on some nice over unders, and I get aggressive with the sum with a lot and go with some alternate totals. So that is the over unders and that talking about. I don't know what I love more, actually getting to the season and having the over-unders, or talking about them in June and August when there's nothing else to do and you gotta argue your point. So I cannot wait for the NFL, my friend.
We had Julian Edlow on last week, I think it was, and we're already in on 11.5 over on the Bills. We like that spot there. I think, honestly, you don't know who's good, who's bad, yada, yada, yada. I'm just going the past 2 years. I'm going, what happened to this team? If you put a gun to my head right now, and I was on record with Julian, okay, the Bills win in the East, the Dolphins second, the Jets third, the Patriots fourth this year. Okay. I got the Bills winning the AFC. I got them hosting right through the playoffs. I got them in the Super Bowl. I just haven't figured out the West yet.
Okay. Hey, I don't hate it. I don't hate it by any means. I am a big backer in the Bills. So, a lot of I mean, you're not the only person that I think you might be the only person that I've heard said the Patriots in fourth. I'm not hating on it by any means. I think the Jets and Dolphins, or at least the Jets, will be improved. I don't know if I won't go maybe that aggressive with fourth, but I don't hate what you're saying by any means. The AFC is going to be a hell for a lot of teams, and it's going to be interesting to see who wades out of it. But I think the Bills might be the safest pick out of the entire AFC to at least get to the playoffs, right?
I over Kansas City. I mean, that AFC West is going to be
AFC West is nasty, unless you think Tennessee or Indy, cakewalks through both of them, and that would be the only other argument. But the Bills are better than both of those teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what Julian closed with. He's like, listen, he's got India even money -110 to win that division. It's basically he threw out the other two teams, the Jags and Houston. He says it's a 2-dog race, and he likes Indy this year.
Yeah.
Improved quarterback, he says, which we'll see. Obviously, they got Jonathan Taylor. They got a good defense, and we'll see what Henry is full season off of the injury.
Yeah, I'm I'm interested because the AFC West. I mean, there's 4 teams in the division. I think all of them are really good teams, but you have to imagine at least one of them, and it wouldn't shock me if any of the 4, kind of had a rough, whether it's an injury plague season or just a ridiculous schedule. So as far as safe bets, I don't think there's a single safe bet out of the AFC West right now.
No, we're waiting for the regression from Kansas City. Some people think that they're even deeper now. They lose Hill, but they brought Juju over, and they brought some other pieces over. Their backfield supposedly is stronger. For me, I am you buying the sizzle of the steak with Russ coming over to Denver. They lose the tight end, but they were able to keep Judy and Sutton. They still got Patrick there. They got a good defense.
Yeah,
they're keeping Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon in the backfield. So I think they're safe. I'm not buying the Raiders. I think Josh is going to fall on his face. I'm interested to see. Carr had a new binky with, now I'm going to brain fart here, wide receiver,
Renfro?
Renfro. That was
Yeah.
his binky. And I look like a hero in fantasy land.
Yeah.
Waller had an off year, banged up. Now, is he going to force the issue? You're a Green Bay fan.
Yeah.
I know you can't cover that bastard. I know that. We've
Yeah.
talked about it week after week. Does he become a problem? Does he have to get force fed the ball?
No, well, it's interesting because he's so damn good to where he creates his own opportunities to where you just have to give him the ball. But I mean, there you can make the argument that Aaron Rodgers would force him the ball at times. The playoff loss that we just suffered, the deciding offensive play, at least at the end of the game, he opted to go deep to double cover Devontae Adams as opposed to an open Allen Lazard across the middle. So I'm with you. I think it's the catch-22. Like I think he makes them better, but then you have to think that he's probably going to force it to him, to some degree. He's not going to be a diva about it at the very least. I think you don't have to worry about that as far as a star receiver is concerned. I don't think that's going to be the issue, but he's good enough to where he's just going to be open, and that's how it is to some degree. But I do think, they'll have opportunities where teams will, double and triple them and have a little bit more success than teams did against the Packers. I'm with you. I know the Orlovsky, and this is obviously part of defense as far as my Packers opinions, but I know Dan Orlovsky was like, if you're thinking the Raiders are now awesome because they got Devontae Adams, then you have to think that the Packers are going to see serious regression without Devontae. You can't think both, and I kind of agree with that. But what about if you're the opinion that they were the third or fourth best team before and after getting Devontae Adams in that division, as far as their improvements are concerned? I think he makes them better, but I still think the Chiefs and Chargers are better than them. I think what the Chargers did defensively, shoring up some of their issues. I was high on the Chargers this last year and a lot of things that they did, and now you've got them coming off of near miss of the playoffs in Justin Herbert in year 3, pissed off to at least get to the playoffs. I think they're going to be top 2 in that division, and they actually might be my pick to win the damn AFC West as far as the Chargers are concerned. So, I can talk for days, even before I do my off-season research. So I'm getting giddy.
Well, and I didn't even mention, of course, the Chargers, who again have. And if I say this, I look like an ass, but I think Mahomes is Mahomes. I think he's a great schoolyard kid. I think Tyreek Hill opened up a lot of avenues where he could scramble, and then just because of the strength of his arm, just go to the mailbox and eventually I'm going to hit you. Herbert is special. And they got one of the best backs. I think he had a bazillion touchdowns last year. And everyone's a little fragile over there. He's going to get hurt. He didn't get hurt. Yeah, he was banged up a little. 2 good wide receivers, Keenan Allen and Williams. Good tight end. I just, you said something to me, though, and I'm going to close this. I know we've extended the show. You pissed me off when you said this because, well, maybe they'll double and triple team Adams. And every time it was 3rd and 8, we knew the ball was going to Adams. No one was double and tripling him then. Now all of a sudden he goes to the Raiders and you're going to double and triple him?
Hey, it's fair. I don't know. I think you're absolutely right. I don't know. When he's going and you're just sick of him beating you, because I mean, as far as the critical situations, I think you're right. He probably didn't get doubled enough, but I'm interested to see how it's going to go because, him and Rodgers had so much of a chemistry and feel to where Rodgers can put the ball in places to where only your receiver is catching the ball, and when you have someone as good as Devontae Adams, that leads to a ton of success. So I'm interested to see if we're going to see Carr really forcing it in there, and maybe his interception numbers go up. I think that's really likely. As far I'm drawing a blank on what his interception numbers have been, but it wouldn't shock me if he's throwing 15 interceptions because he's just trying to force the ball into Devontae Adams. So I'm interested to see how it goes. I'm still sad that he's gone, but obviously the NFC's looking like a barren wasteland as far as the good teams. So obviously still optimistic about the NFC in my case.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Follow us, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. You can catch us here tomorrow and the rest of the week here. And always remember this, if you are wagering tonight, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Riley care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed day. Remember, it's the first day of the week, guys. It's a short card. Okay? Maybe a little couple sprinkles here, sprinkles there. Remember, Jose Ramirez for a homer and Lucas Giolito strikeout prop over. And we'll catch you in the morning.